Welcome back to another episode of the Blueprints Brocast. My name is Jay Cruz.
I'm Austin Tokar.
This week, man, I think I've been through like a lot of different just changes. I think for myself, I don't know whether you've been. I mean, it's been a little while for us. What have you been up to?
It's been a week.
Well, it's been a week, yeah.
A week off. I've been just kind of staying off social media, minding my own thing, just trying to navigate through the world without it. You ever know how much time you have when you don't have social media?
I found out not because I have been off of social media, but because my screen time notification came up, and I was like, oh, let me just look at this and see where my screen time has been. And you don't realize it, but man, the screen time is.
Yeah. See, I don't have that. Mine doesn't tell me how long.
Oh, okay.
I don't set a notification for it, so I would have to actually look in there and check it out.
Yeah.
But who's going to do that? Who wants to actually know? You know.
I didn't want to know, and I actually never look at it. But this last week, I did look at it, and I was like, okay.
You know what? That's bad on Apple's end. Like, if they want to keep you on their phone, they shouldn't send you notifications. It shouldn't even be an option.
Yeah.
It's bad marketing.
Yeah, maybe. I think people just want to have all the kind of information in their fingertips and want to know, like, just extra stats and for stat people.
You could just be like, oh, we don't know how to code that into the phone. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, they had, so I think it started with like battery life though. So battery life would show you how much like of the battery life you use per program, and then they just changed it to screen time. So I don't think
that makes sense.
Started with screen time. It started with just battery life in general. So I think that it's really just battery life, but who knows, because some of the apps run in the background.
Battery life, then it flipped into how much time I spend on each app.
Yeah.
Make you feel bad about yourself.
Well, that's cool. You mentioned staying off of it, and so now what have you been doing with that extra time that you got?
Honestly, just kind of like spending time with myself, studying when I can, which that ends up taking most of my time now. Just kind of like learning things. It's like you don't really know, like, I'm not gonna say you don't know who you are, but you kind of like get in a different feel when you stay off of those things. You don't mold yourself into that. So like, say you're invested in someone on social media, you're like, oh, I got to look at their stuff, right? You're kind of piecing in their life to yours instead of just kind of like, having them come into yours for whatever brief moment and like learning or taking whatever you can, whether it's entertainment, learning, anything of that nature. Then you realize like, shoot, I'm spending way too much time with people I don't know. Realistically, that's what you're doing. And then the other time of day just like breezes on by. Goes from 12 p.m. to like 6 p.m. and you're like, shoot, I didn't do anything. Like, I'm not saying that's what I did, but that can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense, because I know that there's sometimes I follow somebody and I follow along with their whole journey and everything that they're doing. And it's not someone that necessarily adds anything to my life. It's just somebody that like I'm interested in what they're doing. And then all of a sudden they kind of like go dark or silent a little bit on social media. And then I don't see them for like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they post something else and I'm like, oh yeah, I follow you. I forgot about that. And it's not until they're gone that you realize, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't need to know what's going on with them.
Yeah. They didn't have a significant enough impact in your life to be like, oh, this person's gone.
Yeah.
I used to see them every day. He's like, what happened?
We used to be friends. We hang out all the time, and then you stopped hanging out, and then I realized I didn't need you anymore.
There was a lot of people like that. They'll go up to a person they've never met before, and they'll be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, whatever. We had that talk on Instagram, right? But they won't bring that up. They're like, oh, we talk a few times. Like, I don't know you, bro. Like, you don't go up to a person in real life the way you go up to them on social media.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know of them. You've had a talk with them. But it doesn't mean, like, you have that interpersonal relationship with them. So it kind of freaks a lot of people out, especially women. I think I saw on TikTok a girl talking about this. She just mentioned, like, some sort of fan, whatever they were, went up to them in person, act like they were best friends. That's a strange concept when you think about it.
But here's the thing, though. Are you somebody, did that woman talk to her on social media as though they were like friends, like in DMs? Like, were they doing that? Or was it just like, she commented back because she commented on her post and she commented back?
Well, here's the way. Either way, it doesn't matter, because like when you're on social media, unless you know them in person, you don't know who the other person is you're actually talking to. It could be a totally fake person, right? Just a made up profile. But then also there's so many people, and they had like over 1 million followers. Like, there's so many people you engage with. it's almost impossible to keep up with how many people you're actually talking to. So you might want to do a nice thing for them, like walk them through a process, but you still don't know the person. Like that's not going to stick in your head if you're doing that for a lot of other people.
That makes sense.
Like you ever seen someone in person and you're like, that's not what you look like on social media. Like,
Okay.
it's weird, right?
So I do have someone that was like that, that I met. Well, both ways. Someone that's met me and someone that I met. I was following Mark Bell for a little bit, and like his whole process from going from the super training gym in Sacramento, and he had a guy with him. His name is Silent Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going on a
you mean the airport?
yeah I was going on a business trip, and I saw him in person, but I think on video everybody looks like bigger and taller.
Yeah.
And I saw him and I was like, oh shoot, that's Silent Mike. And so we were in opposite lines, like, or we're in the same line, but you know how it accordions back and forth or snakes back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, the next time I pass him, I'm gonna say what's up to him or whatever. And I didn't make it weird though. I was like, oh, what's up, man? I love what you do, and can I get a picture with you? I think every time I meet somebody that's semi-famous or popular, I forget to tell them who I am. I'm like, hey, I know who you are, and that's cool, whatever. But I don't tell them, hey, my name is Jay. I don't ever do that. I'm just like, hey, I know who you are. Can I get a photo or whatever? And he was cool, super cool. He wasn't like weird about it. And then I posted about it later, and he was like, oh yeah, man, cool to meet you too. Like he was super chill. But I think that like I'm not starstruck very quickly with anybody, but I was still excited. Like, oh man, this is one of the guys that's like, he's just a cool person. You know, he doesn't try to be nobody better than anybody. He tries to help people. And I was like, oh, he's cool. 2 other times. So I met Tim Tebow in New York. It was during Fashion Week, and Stacia, our sister, she was like, hey, go get a picture with him. And I was like, I don't want a picture with Tim Tebow. Like, I don't like
that guy's weird.
Yeah, I'm not even, I don't follow him, nothing. I just know who he is.
Yeah.
I think she wanted the photo.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, I just walked up to him like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? That was it. Like, no, like, hey, I like you. Hey, I like what you do. None of that stuff. I don't know nothing about him, you know, except for he played for the Gators. He's a Christian, and, you know, it's pretty much it. And then it felt really weird when I walked away from that one. I was just like, oh, like that was like, it almost felt dirty. Like, I just took a selfie.
You just said you didn't want to do it, like they forced you into the,
yeah.
You got strong armed to the situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. No.
Yeah. I almost felt dirty after that. And then the other person was Aurora LaChance. She's a CrossFit athlete. She was actually at her, it's probably why you don't know. She was at her church, and I was like, oh shoot, like that's her. But she is super like short, like super short. But the only reason why I recognized it was her is because she looked like it, like immediately you could see her. Oh, jacked. She's an athlete. Yeah, she's jacked. She doesn't look like the normal average woman. Yeah. She, you know, she's fit. And so I was actually excited to see her because I was like, oh, she like, you don't see very many super fit women just walking around. And then, you know, I went and I actually introduced myself to her that time and said hi. And I said, you know, hey, I've been following you for however long, your CrossFit journey. And it's awesome what you do. And it was just cool to see her in a place where I was at. I wasn't going to a place where someone else was at. Yeah. So, so it wasn't like overly weird, but I didn't also act like, oh, I know you and we're best friends. I would never, like, I don't see why people do that.
Yeah, that's very strange, especially if it's like someone you don't really care about. A celebrity is only celebrity to you if they're like had some sort of impact or you actually know them and you care about them. Like you used to live with Team Tebow. It's like, if you don't care, it's like, ooh, it's Team Tebow, right?
Yeah.
Like I met Will Smith one time. That was during the Concourse Week. I think was it Concourse Week? I don't know what week it was. This is like 5 years back in Monterey. But like, I was like, oh, cool, that's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'd say hi. Didn't do a photo or anything, but it's just like, he's right over there. I'll say hi real quick. But it's like, you can't lower your status in those situations by like saying like, I know you, you don't know me. Like you're not bringing up your name. You're saying, I know you the whole time. It's like subconsciously you're kind of doing that in a way when you just bringing up their end, not yours.
Yeah. That's true. I never really thought about that. Like not bringing value, because everybody's valuable. And I always say, man, almost anybody can be in a movie, like anybody, ugly or not. and people were like, "Oh, that's the cutest guy ever. Have you ever seen?" He just because he's in a movie,
Yeah.
and just because he has exposure. But any guy, any gal, well, I wouldn't say any, but for the most part, most women, men, somebody's gonna find them attractive just from exposure.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be like,
This is a status thing. Like, oh, you're in the movies? Oh man.
yeah,
Doesn't matter who you are or what. You're the guy. You're the guy in the way of the back of the grocery store and whatever they're filming at.
yeah,
Like,
the
"You see that
extra,
person?
yeah, the extra.
You ever
that's
hear
way
about those
back-
stories? Like, oh yeah, I was in this movie. Who are you? Like, I'm that guy right there. He has to bring up the scene, like point himself out. I was the extra part 2.
No, I know someone like that.
Right?
We were on a trip. I don't remember. It was a missions trip or something like that. And we were in San Diego, and one of the guys in the house that we were staying at, his friend was in the movie Titanic, and was supposedly one of the people that was sliding down the deck when it was like sinking. And he's like, "Okay, hold on, watch." And then like,
That's my friend right there.
yeah, that's him right there. That's him right there. Or that's her. I don't remember. It was a guy or a girl. But he's like, "Oh, that's it right there." And I was like, "Wow, that was like very fast, very like short lived."
Yeah, it's cool, but it's
yeah.
like, is it that cool?
Oh, I wish it was me. I would totally be an extra because it's like, all of the lights and cameras aren't on you, but you're like, hey, I was in this movie, and like, where? You're not even like when you click on the cast in IMDb, you're not even in there because you're like the extra of the extras.
Yeah, they're just like, you're the people filler. Now you won't even get in a movie because they just fill you with CGI.
Oh yeah, it's CGI, and a lot of the
You got any
Titanic
rules
one,
for me? Nah, man, your spot's been filled.
yeah, a lot of the Titanic one was I think CGI too, but I think there was a portion where they just had real people sliding down the side of it.
I'm sure it's probably easy to pull people off the street. Like, hey, you want to be in this scene in the movie? What would I gotta do? Just jump down the slide.
Yeah, what was that movie? Freddie Mercury, Queen. That movie, have you watched that?
Yeah, I watched Queen. It's a little dirty.
Yeah,
That made me feel dirty at the end.
yeah. You don't have to get into that one, but the crowd in that one when he's singing, they're only people in the front, and then they duplicate.
Is that the one where you can see the duplication though? Like you could just see like they basically copied and pasted everyone.
Oh, I don't know, but you probably can because I didn't pay attention to it, but I saw like a video.
Oh, you know what? That's a political thing. I think that was when Joe Biden was talking.
Oh.
Like one of his speeches. Yeah.
Yeah,
They like duplicated people.
yeah. That was that one.
That's funny.
But this one, they just showed you there's just people in the front row, and then they just doubled them or quadrupled, whatever, however many it took to fill out the rest of it.
I mean, like, you're not going to get that many people in movies though. Like,
Oh yeah, to get like a real crowd out there
Yeah.
for a scene that's going to take however many hours.
there's got to be things that are understandable. Like, you're obviously not going to. Could you imagine doing that back in the day? You would have to go to a real concert and then film it there.
Yeah, but have you watched Forrest Gump?
Yeah. Okay, those were people running with him.
Well, no. Well, there's that, but there weren't that many.
The football
people.
stadium, the Alabama game. You talking about that scene?
There's a lot of scenes. There's the one where they're at the Capitol, and there's all those people, and then Jenny runs across the water, where they're at like some speech, like some peace speech,
Okay, I think.
and then Forrest, you know how she,
Yeah.
and that was real people. Like,
Who was talking? Who was doing the speech?
I don't know, some
president?
like I don't know who it was.
Can't do a president. It's too vulnerable spot.
It was some private peace rally or something like that. I don't remember. But there's that. There's the football.
Yeah, could you imagine
scene.
your rally getting diminished by that? They're just like, oh, yeah, there's just one more of those rallies. Let's just shoot our movie here, shoot our scene.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot like old school. That's how they did it. I guess the new way is like what you just said. They just CGI people out. Don't pay anybody. And
I
you
wonder if
pay
it's cheaper.
to do CGI.
Yeah, CGI is expensive.
It's cheaper, I think, because the time that it takes to do it. Like you're not paying all those people. Hey, coordinating everybody and like retaking scenes. Like you can just do the scene like inside of a controlled space with just like one or two actors, and then the rest of it's built out, and you don't have to worry about the coordination part. Because I would imagine that's like extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got back onto movies, man. We're talking about movies again.
Now we're talking about movie stars and what done in the movies.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
No, but just social media in general, I think it's a good thing to limit yourself because, like what they say, anything's good in moderation.
Yeah, the devil's in the dose.
Yeah, the devil is in the dose.
Yep.
I've never heard that way.
What? Really?
But
Use that in bodybuilding a lot.
oh, okay. But yeah, that's another story. But there's a lot of value learning, like what you say, like you'll learn in other places other than social media. Because even social media, it's funny because I was watching it there, like a few things, and a lot of influencers will say the complete opposite thing of someone else. They're saying, hey, this is what you need to do to like lose weight.
Yeah.
You can see two different people that say the complete opposite things about like, oh, meat or like eggs or like I saw someone saying like, hey, don't eat too many carrots, and I'm like,
Yeah, sure. Duh. Don't
yeah,
eat it.
yeah, don't
But,
eat
like,
too many of anything.
yeah.
But like when they people try to like demonize just any kind of food,
Yeah.
like unless it's processed, like you can't demonize just standard food that's one ingredient food. You're not going to have too many foods like that are not good for you unless it's like soybeans or something like that. But
Soy in you.
yeah, you can't get too much soy.
I think like it's hard for a lot of people to get off social media when they initially used it as something that helped them along the way. So for me, YouTube videos, that's where I learned all my fitness stuff, right? I followed Christian Guzman, Steve Cook. I followed mainstream bodybuilders, Kai Green, Phil Heath. You'd learn something from everyone on there.
Yeah.
And then what? Derek More Plates, More Dates.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Hodge twins.
The Hodge twins. I mean, I don't know how much we learned about the Hodge twins, but
No, they were always just for
you
entertainment.
just got to
value.
eat less, man. Right? But like, and then they moved to Instagram and all these other platforms, right? So you're kind of like, okay, I can learn on there from them too. And what initially you nurture to be like a good thing, it becomes something that ends up being a bad thing because you spend so much time on there. It becomes less about I'm trying to nurture myself and learn from these people, and more about how can I entertain myself. You know, because you're convincing yourself that you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah, I've also noticed that most of social, like anything actually, social media, YouTube, any of that kind of stuff, there's so much like just entertainment and jokes that, or just like funny stuff when regular life is still happening. And I think people like, there's all these things in politics, there's all these things in the world that is going, to trash, but people just make memes and jokes about it rather than like, hey, let's actually address what the issue is here. And instead it's all like just entertainment value. Oh, let me laugh about what was it? The Ocean Gate. These people that died.
Dang.
The amount of memes that came out for that. It's like,
It wasn't even 5 hours. It was like in 3 hours, as soon as people heard, first meme came out.
oh yeah, it didn't take it any time at all. So like that's our culture now though. There is no like, the whole, it's too soon, man. That's too soon. That doesn't exist anymore. Like nothing can be too soon that people will start laughing about it.
But I think it's like, to certain people, it's too soon. For others, they can get over things really quick. It doesn't affect them. You don't even know the people. So you're kind of like, I have no limit to what I'm going to put out there. So I'm just going to make something real quick.
Yeah, I 100% guarantee you if 9/11 happened over again,
Oh, there'd be memes.
there'd be memes.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
And
Whether or not be in the country, I don't know, who knows, but
Yeah.
at least someone on the other side of the world would be laughing.
yeah.
You know?
And it's a sad thing that our culture has gotten to that point. And that's why I try to moderate even who I follow, and I probably need to do like another like comb through of people that spread lies. Even if they're spreading the truth, my question is like, are you trying to bring people together? Or are you trying to divide? Even if the truth is the truth, are you trying to like fix it and bring people together, or are you just trying to like, cause division? Because if it's division making, like I just try not to do that because then my heart gets divided, and then when I meet people that are a certain way, I'm just like, oh, like I don't want to talk to you, or like I don't want to deal with you. So like I think that's what I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna go back through my social media and kind of just purge it because I don't.
You should do it because you end up doing a lot of dumb things on there. You're like, just especially in the times you're just like, it becomes pure entertainment value. You're just flipping through. You're like, oh, I like this guy now because he's made a funny video. I'll follow him. And that happens more times than you think. And then you go back and you're like, this is stupid. Why am I even following this person? So you should like at least once a month just kind of go over like, who am I following? What am I spending my time on? Let me get rid of this guy. Well, this guy's cool. Let me keep that.
Yeah. There's this comedian that did stuff with puppets, and it was really fun.
The ones that dads would send?
Who?
The one that dad would send?
I don't know. It's like a little hand puppet, but then there's other puppets.
Yeah, he would do the talking with the.
Bro, I don't know.
What
He
those guys called?
he was Mexican, and he had like a Mexican accent, and it was just really funny what he would do. Anyways, it was funny one time, and like the second time was funny, and then I was like, I there's no post for a while, and it came back up like maybe a month later, and I was like, bro, why do I follow this?
Yeah.
This is so dumb. Why am I here? And I think like time away from something sometimes, like you get desensitized to certain things, and like you watch something or look at something over and over and over, and you're just like, oh, this becomes normal, and then you step away from it for a while, and you go back to it, and you're like, what caused me, what provoked me to actually press like the follow button that I wanted to see this again.
And it's like when you grow up, like it maybe happens a lot quicker now, but like when you look back at the things you used to find funny, some things are still funny. Other things are just like, that's dumb. Like, why was I laughing at that? You know?
No, whenever you guys send like memes or something to like our group chat, us four brothers, we have a group chat. Ryan absolutely never.
He'll send one every once in a while.
Yeah, it's always from Reddit though. Like he pulls it from Reddit and then he brings it into the chat.
You know what's weird? Who goes on Reddit though? I feel like only trolls go on Reddit. What if Ryan's a troll?
No, I think people that go on Reddit are people that when you tell like a joke or something like that, they are very like proper and like will correct the vernacular.
Did I send you guys that video of that guy? He does that. The typical Redditor.
Oh no.
Oh, I gotta send you guys. It's so funny. Like, no.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is before we got sidetracked by our sidetrack is that our jokes are the same exact jokes that we would have told when we were like younger, but it's just like the
different format,
the grown up version of like the same stuff. So like our humor hasn't really changed very much.
Yeah, but yeah. So social media, you got to use it for a purpose. You know, if you're on it just for pure entertainment value, that's fine. Just limit yourself on it, but don't lose the reason why you got it in the first place. Like for some people, it's just sharing pictures for friends and family. Other people, it's to learn. Other people, it's entertainment, right? But use it for that purpose. If you're able to do that, you won't find yourself wasting hours and hours on social media or on your phone in general.
Yeah. It's funny because I have, so Dad, I think the reason why Dad listens to our podcast is because we talk about him all the time. And like, I think every single freaking episode.
Next episode, just don't talk about it all.
Purposely don't mention him, but he'll send random like TikToks, and I'm like, what is it with the older generation that's older than us? They're on TikTok, but they never send it through TikTok. They copy it and then they paste it.
They don't make a profile
and send it through text.
They won't make a profile. They'll see the one that gets taken and put on the news channel, or whatever. Like the news channels take from TikTok and put it on there. It's weird. But they'll use that and they'll put it on their page and then they'll send it from there. That gets like emails.
Oh, okay.
It's like this older generation though.
But I have friends that do the same thing.
Yeah.
I have friends that their parents will text it or email them the TikTok, and I'm like, what? Like, there's easier ways to do
you
this.
Can just sound like, no, I don't want a profile. Or mom, she has a profile. She says she doesn't have one.
When you have
like a blank page.
When you have a friend that's like, oh no, I stay off there because TikTok, it's all just like naked girls dancing and stuff like that. I'm like, it's an algorithm, bro. Like it shows you what you look at the most. So
nah, bro, it's not true. Not true. I think that's so funny because it's getting more back towards fitness TikTok, but the majority of things on there are just purely like comedy sketches and all that.
Yeah, even the fitness stuff though. Even the fitness stuff where there'll be a girl like just joking around like, oh, today I'm gonna do my arms, and then she'll like, her butt's at the screen and stuff like that. And it's the people that post a lot on there that try and entertain and stuff like that. They do it. I think we talked about this a little bit for one, the likes, the dopamine hit, and all that kind of stuff. But some of them do it as a business, like they're legitimately trying to gain followers so that they can market a product or whatever. Yep. But for me, like I've even tried to step away from like I've done like one or two like entertainment ones, and I'm like, that's not me. I'm not trying to do that. And so I just do stuff to try and legitimately help people. Like that's those things that I post, or like things like just like life updates or trying to help people. If my content isn't something that's going to benefit someone else, I kind of like if my family sees it, that's cool. Yeah. But if someone outside of my family sees it, I want the representation of what I put. I don't want to have to explain it, like, oh, well, it's just a skit. That's not really me. Like, I don't want to do that type of.
It's funny because entertainment is the lowest and highest form of what you can offer as a marketing scheme, right? Anyone can do it. You can't. Not everyone can teach people. Not everyone can present something.
Yeah.
But anyone can entertain. And then to what degree you're good at that will either put you at the height of the market, because most people are drawn to entertainment. You're not going to go on someplace to learn something to the extent of people trying to get entertainment out of it, right? And then you also have people like who do the dumb stuff to be entertaining. People who go to jail from trying to do something entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So you have both the extents in there. And then if you don't like vibe with either one of those, or just like the entertainment itself, like if that's not what you want to do, you're not going to get really good at it. Like you're not there to make people happy. You're kind of like, I want to provide value in a different direction. It's not going to go well for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, entertainment's good, but here's the thing about entertainment is that all the greatest civilizations, when they started to fail, is when everything they did became entertainment or entertainment focused. Like, I don't want to get super philosophical on it, but Rome, the greatest civilization to have ever existed at the time, what?
This is a TikTok that's pretty.
Oh, okay, let me finish my thought then. Let me finish my thought. You just started laughing like I said something weird. But the reason why they started their downfall was that they got into, I'm trying to choose my words here. But they got their society became overly sexualized. One, they became into entertainment, that the whole gladiator, the Colosseum thing. Their whole society became about that, and they tried to distract their people by offering them, hey, this entertainment, when the government was not doing well. And I'm not saying that. That's what we do. That's what we're doing today. Yeah. It's the same thing. So like, if people want to, I'm not saying, hey, stop entertainment, because entertainment's a good thing, but it shouldn't be everything we're based on. Like, everything that holds our society together is entertainment, because that's literally what it is. People live for entertainment at this point in America.
Yeah. Okay, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
But on that TikTok, it basically just says, ladies, ask your man anything about the Roman Empire. Anything. Just ask them about it. And they'll know something. Like, they'll know a lot about it, more than you think.
Really?
Any guy. They're obsessed with like Roman Empire.
Oh, I'm gonna have to just ask a random dude.
Ask a random dude, like, hey, what do you think of Rome? Roman Empire. But I was like, I didn't think about that. I was like, dude, every guy kind of like relates to that in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what is it? The Spartans and
gladiators.
Gladiators.
Oh, Spartans and
Spartans is Rome, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's Greece. Man, I'm about to sound real stupid right now, so I'm not gonna go down that road.
We're gonna cut this out. But anyways, somewhere around there is, people kind of know about it,
Yeah.
Whether it be from the Bible.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that was whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Roman Empire was the greatest empire ever. Here's what they did, Or the Gladiator, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people like, it's one of the greatest movies ever filmed.
Oh yeah, it was.
But you're just like, okay, it's about Rome.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I got a random question for you.
Yeah.
Off topic. When you're walking somewhere, or maybe just existing somewhere, and you make eye contact with another guy, who nods first?
Depends on who it is, though. If it's another fitness person, I usually always nod. If you're out in public and you see another fitness guy, you're both probably gonna be like, all right, like, yeah, you work out, right? Most likely, because you rarely see it now. If it's like some dweeb walking by, I'm most likely gonna nod at them, because like sometimes I do like to talk to people and just like out in public, because I don't know why society leans toward this way, but it's very awkward to to start conversations with random people now. Like, people are kind of scared of what you're gonna do. Like there's a stranger, so I can't. Stranger danger is like too popular for some reason. like you need to be able to go and talk to random people if you want to.
Yeah,
that shows at least some sort of confidence, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people just aren't confident with talking to other people. It's very strange. But anyways, back to the question. I generally do the nodding when I see people in public, or another dude at least.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where this came from, but I was just thinking the other day, I was talking with somebody, and I said, like, this is an unspoken thing amongst guys. No one ever talks about this, but we're talking about it now. It's like just acknowledging, another dude out there. And I would agree with you with another fitness person. Then like, but I wait for them because
They get nod. I don't want to nod.
no, not for that reason. I feel like the first person that nods is like conceding to the other person, like, oh, you're bigger than me.
You know why I do it? I know I'm bigger than them. I can nod anyway. I'm like, I'm bigger than you, but I'll acknowledge you. I'm coming from a state of abundance.
You're like, I see you coming up.
Yeah, you're on your way.
That's funny.
But I think it's more of a tribal thing, though. Like, you'll nod to people pretty quickly if you see that they relate to you some sort of way.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll talk about politics. Like, people go to Trump rallies. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got a shirt? All right.
Oh, you got the MAGA hat on, bro."
Yeah. Or you're at, I guess, a Biden rally. I'm sure. I don't know if they.
You got pink hair too. Yeah. Hey, what's up? You got blue hair.
Yeah, Build Back Better. All right. I don't know if they do that there though. You think?
Nah.
I'm just trying to think of the type of people. Like going in the direction.
I don't think that. I'm not going to even talk about it because I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I think that people had like Harleys, when people ride Harleys and they see each other going opposite ways.
Obviously you're gonna be.
They always,
Faith when she drives her Miata, she always gets a wave
from other Miatas.
Other Miatas.
Yeah.
Just strange to me, but I mean, you don't see that many Miatas.
Whenever I see someone with a Tundra, like the new one, not the old one, the new one, I like.
The old one's trying to wave at you. You're like, nah.
I mean, if they wave, I'll wave too. But like, if it's the new one, because I mean, when I first got it, it's been a year now. There was none on the road, like zero. So when I would see someone else, I was like, "Hey, I acknowledge you got a dope truck." But now, like, there's so many of them on the road, I kind of like stopped doing it. But just hey, what's up?
But okay, that is pretty funny though, because like when I was playing junior college football, and we were kind of like grouping together. We would group together by weight classes for lifting, but when we went onto the field, you would notice that everyone kind of segregate towards their race, or if they went to the same school together. But it was mostly their race.
Dang,
it was very strange.
Wait, when you guys got together with what?
At NPC for football. So,
okay.
So from the weightlifting aspect, you would have to be in your weightlifting group who lifts a relative weight to you. But when you get on the field, it's a whole different aspect, right? So normally you would, like if you're on the sideline, you're watching everyone do the plays, defense and offense. When you look at the sideline, you generally see like, black people, white people, Mexicans.
Yeah.
If you look at it, I didn't think about that during football. I was like, and I started looking at it with other teams. I'm like, this happens more than not.
The funny thing is like, this goes back to what we talked about a few episodes back about people being like communal and tribal.
Yeah.
And it's nothing bad, but people make it a bad thing. Like, hey, I just want to hang out with somebody.
You just feel more comfortable.
Yeah. Not even that. It's just like, I have more things in common with them. I know what I can talk to them about.
Yeah.
And people are afraid to talk to new people. Like, oh, I don't know what I have in common with this person. And there's this awkward phase where I'm going to have to like talk about things. Whereas if we're around, like, we're barely Filipino, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't relate to.
Yeah.
Like I like my Filipino friends, but like when they get like deep into the culture, I'm kind of like, I enjoy it, but I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, same. Like, yeah, I ate the food growing up and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to them talking about like, just if it's American Filipino culture type stuff, I'm down. When you talk about, oh, my grandma had this type of broom, I'm like, yeah, she had that. Yeah, my grandma had that broom too.
We're like the grandmas and grandpas, like the first generation.
Yeah.
Like the second generation Filipinos are kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me.
There's a different, like, so it's like second or third generation Filipinos, we relate to them because we're not like first, like just straight out the Philippines.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, people are tribal, and like you said, if it's someone else that's fitness, you automatically like give them a nod because you know that they're part of not necessarily a specific tribe, but a specific tribe of fitness people that you acknowledge that they do fitness, and I think that's everybody, and that's why people, so like political line, they do it just because, oh, you have the same beliefs that I do generally, but honestly, like if I were to like say a conservative, Republican versus whatever else, like liberal and all that stuff, I don't align with either one of them because all of them are a little bit too extreme in general. And there's a little bit that both have that, hey, if you guys just took the good stuff from both of them and put it together, we would be a lot better off as a country. But they want to be here's the great example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Great example. When you go to a football game, there's two football teams. I'll say Raiders specific because it seems like this happens with Raiders all the time. But Raiders and any other team, they're at a football game, and like they get in an argument about something. All of a sudden, they are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, why don't we celebrate over the common thing that we have? We both love football, and let's be excited about this game, as opposed to like you're arguing about why your team is better or whatever. Man, I thought we were just here to enjoy football. Yeah, I'm going to root for my team, but I'm not going to get in a fist fight with you over the team. That's stupid. And so that's the same thing with like in America. Hey, we're both for America, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we're both for America, but why are we fighting over whatever team we're on? Why don't we pick the best things about it, which is America itself, and try to like bring it back together? I'm not trying to save America all in one sentence, but I mean that's part of the problem.
I think the issue is like they want to promote tribalism, right? Like be happy about whatever tribe you're from, right? Whether it be LGBTQ, cis, that kind of stuff, black, white, all those kind of intersectionality stuff. But the problem is where they say you can't like the other crowd.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's like you should be able to like the other crowd. Like you might believe something different. You're in another tribe, right? You have different beliefs, but you should still be able to like go to other tribes and kind of converse and be able to like, intermingle. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think when you have like I'm right or you're wrong, that kind of method, that's where you kind of destroy, the dynamic.
Yeah, it's like the fitness community, like destroy CrossFit forever. Like they're always like, "Oh, CrossFitters are idiots."
Well,
They're dumb. And I will say, like, there's things that they do that, like, you probably shouldn't do that. But then again, there's stuff in powerlifting. Hey, you probably shouldn't do that. There's stuff in bodybuilding. Hey, you probably shouldn't. But CrossFit specifically is demonized because,
I think because there's so many injuries happening at the local level.
yeah,
Because like it's bad form and.
That's new. That's because they have new athletes that are trying to do advanced stuff that they shouldn't be messing around with whatsoever. Shouldn't be touching those things.
It's because of the type of workouts that happen. You're more likely to be injured there than if you did something in powerlifting or bodybuilding that's kind of stupid.
Like deadlifts for time.
Yeah, you can.
Let me do as many.
See, that to me, I was like
15-pound deadlifts as possible.
I did that, and I was like, after I was just like, my back hurts. This is dumb because at some point you're gonna get tired, and what happens when you get tired? Other muscles are going to come in and help out the lagging body parts.
Yeah, you just use whatever to get it done.
Exactly. So that's where it's like, and you see it all the time in CrossFit games or just anyone doing the, whatever they call it, the WOD. What is that? What is it?
Workout of the day.
Yeah. Whenever you see that stuff, you're just like, oh man, this is horrible form. Usually it lies about that halfway mark.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff that they do can be done if you're a more advanced athlete and you understand what's at stake while you're doing it. Like if you're going to do deadlifts for time, hey, you do deadlifts as many, like say you have a minute to do them. Well, you do deadlifts up until the point where oh, my form's done. I can't do anymore. It's not, hey, do as many as you can and fit them in, whatever, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But like do it up until the point that's safe
Yeah.
and then stop. But that's not how you win in CrossFit. So that's why they don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, all this conversation to just say, like back to social media, because that's where we started at. We got way down here. Use it for as a good tool, not just for entertainment. It could be a little bit entertaining, but it gets out of hand real fast. Yep. What's something that you think that people can do? Like, what did you do to help just separate yourself from social media a little bit and get refocused back to use it as a tool rather than just entertainment?
I think for me, personally, things are better done cold turkey. So I don't delete it, but I do push the social media apps on the last page of my iPhone. So like, it's just a hassle to like keep swiping to get there. That already like puts it out of the way. Like, oh, I don't want to go get for it. The harder something is to do, the less likely you are to do it. So if you put that at the last page, you're not going to swipe over to go to it unless you're really obsessed, right? Because it's more work. But cutting out completely was my method. It was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to be on there. Like, yeah, I have to check it because, clients kind of ask questions through their like inquiry. So I check once a day, but other than that, everything else is cut off. Cause like if you, what do they say? Give an inch, you give a mile.
Oh yeah.
So if you look at TikToks, you look at one video and then you're like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then you scroll down to the next one. You're like, oh, that's really funny too. And then it's just one long trend downhill from there.
Yeah.
So cold turkey for me.
The thing that I've been doing is like what you said in the beginning, just like every month, just kind of scrub through, like does this person add value to my life or is it just entertaining?
Yeah.
And it's hard because like you grow an attachment to like this person that you don't know. Like, oh man, but I gotta find out. Did they like? Oh, what was the gender of their baby? Oh, like or oh, they were building this building. How did that go? Like, but if I don't like learn something from them or like if we don't have a personal relationship, me between them, I've started to like dwindle down who I follow based upon that. And a lot of it is like celebrities have like mostly are all gone from my Instagram. I don't have.
They don't post anything cool anyway.
Yeah, and most of them have like a handler or somebody that posts for them, so that one it's a PR person to like filter through what they do, and then also it's like not them even doing it. So,
yeah.
And if I want to find out stuff about them, it usually ends up happening in the news anyways if it's really big.
Yeah. Or if you really care, you can search the name.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's up with them? But
yeah,
at least keep them off your main feed.
Yeah, yeah. So I know that I have a lot more to do because I have like random like computer brands that I follow just to see, oh, is there a new graphics chip coming out for this, or just random stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, and I think what it's going to come down to is my Instagram is going to become something that only that either I interact with you and you interact with me, or just like family and friends that I know, and it's gonna get real small. I used to have over like 1,000 something people that I used to follow, and I think I'm under like 900 now. So I purged like 100 over the past month, but a lot of it was things that I justify too, like but this person they do this, and I'll learn tips this way, but like
but you don't.
But I don't.
And like you may have used them for a time, but you don't need them anymore.
Used them.
Yeah. They're there for my purposes only. But it's like, you got to think of it that way. It's like, it's like if they're not for you anymore, you have to kind of like cut them out of your life, whether they were good or not. If it becomes something that's pulling you back, you have to cut it off.
So on the other hand, now what I've tried, I'm pretty sure you've been doing this too, because I've seen what you've been posting and stuff, is that I want to make sure I am somebody that's adding value and adding something that that helps people and has purpose for them, because otherwise, like, what am I posting for? Like when people post like, oh, I just brags, like I'm not someone that's easily impressed. I don't care, and I don't care to impress other people. Like I stay away from that. So only reason why I'm on there now, and the only reason why I try and post is to try and help people. I mean, that's what my whole YouTube channel is now. And I think there's a lot of stuff that I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not doing yet, and I need to be more positive and putting more content out there. But for now, I've focused it into like, if it's not there to help somebody or to make somebody's life better, or even just to, hey, I'll entertain you, but there's still going to be like some hidden information in there so that you get something out of it.
I think as long as you don't think like, what can I get out of this? And this could be any. It's funny, a lot of people will justify things. They'll say like, oh, no, it's not about me, it's about the other people. And they'll post something, but really you're constantly looking like, oh, what are my likes at? Mm-hmm. Or is anyone commenting? Like, that's how you know you're not doing it for, other people. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, it could be something where you need to see like where your engagement's at and what you can do differently, but most people aren't doing that.
Yeah. See, I will do that based upon, I will do that actually. I'll look at it and like, hey, how much engagement did I have on this post? What did I do differently? And like, is this what people want to see? So like, if someone doesn't want to see some sort of information that I put out there, that's kind of like, oh, well, that fell flat. Like, then I'm like, all right, well, then I won't do that. But the problem with that, even doing that, is like, sometimes if you use a song, that song boosts it more than the other one did. So like, I just make sure that I'm just doing the right thing, that I'm staying true to myself for the most part. And then I let it do what it does. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you guys got some sort of tip on social media and just a better way for you to use it as a tool. That isn't even what we meant to talk about today, but that's where it went. And I'm glad that you guys got to see a more, not that any of I think all the conversations we've had are super authentic, but specifically that one was probably the most authentic conversation that we've had because it kind of free flowed. Thank you guys for joining us once again. If you haven't subscribed to either the podcast or the channel, now is the time to do so. And we will see you in the next video.
Next time.